Hey guys, Credit Shuffle here, and this is a kind of a continuation of my previous video, why I always use a credit card, purchase protection, etc. And we're going to be talking again about why I use a credit card for every purchase. But first of all, if you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We upload several videos per week teaching you about how to maximize credit card rewards to get free flights, etc. and also how to improve your credit score. If you like the sound of that, please subscribe. So this week we are going to be talking about why I use a credit card for every purchase, and we are specifically talking about credit card rewards. That's right. So if you know anything about credit cards, especially in the United States, they give you rewards in the form of airline miles, cashback, etc. So for example, the Chase Sapphire Reserve is 1 Chase point on everything, 3 points on travel and dining. The Citi Double Cash gives you 2% cashback on everything. And then there are a load of other cards with different levels of cashback and point earning that basically allow you to earn back some money on every single purchase that you make. Now, the reason credit card companies can give out rewards as a percentage of your purchases is because they actually charge fees as a percentage of your purchases to the merchants that you're buying from. Now, let's have a look at some typical credit card merchant fees. So I'll use an example of my store where I sell Credit Shuffle wallets. And if you're interested in a wallet, why not check out the store? Links in the description. Anyway, so I use Square integrated into a Weebly website, and they charge 2.7% plus 30 cents for e-commerce transactions. It's a little bit on the high side, but you know, whatever. To give you another example of a in-person swiping transaction, they actually charge 2.5% plus just a 10-cent fee. Now, just because a 2.5 or 2.9% fee is charged, not all of that goes to the credit card issuing bank. Part of that goes to Visa or MasterCard or American Express, whoever is the network that's responsible for that card. Then part of that does go to the bank, like Chase or Citigroup or whoever. Part of that also will go to the payment aggregator, which is the company that handles the merchant services, like in my case it's Square. There's a whole breakdown of different parties that are involved in this fee. So your bank gets a portion of that fee. You know, maybe they're getting 0.5% or 1% or whatever, etc. But they are getting a fee every time you swipe your card. Now, we'll just talk a little bit about the effect of these fees on small businesses. So if you go to a very large store like Walmart or a supermarket or whatever, you can normally pay for very small items with a credit card, like a 50-cent chocolate bar or whatever. They have no problem with you paying with a credit card. But in a small store, like a small mom and pop store or whatever, they normally set a credit card minimum. Federal law allows them to set a credit card minimum up to $10. Some set it lower, like $5. But some go for the full $10. And the reason is because in addition to a percentage fee, they get charged a set dollar or cent fee. Like with Square, we just saw online payments, it was a 30-cent set fee, and in-person payments, it was a 10-cent set fee. So if you bought something that cost 50 cents, well, that set fee would already take away 20% of your revenue. That could be your entire profit margin on some items. But usually, larger businesses are able to negotiate with salespeople of their credit card processing company, and they can get much lower fees. Okay, for example, Square, if your business is over $250,000 a year, you can actually negotiate lower fees with them. So that's kind of the reason why larger businesses will often have no credit card minimum, and smaller businesses have credit card minimums up to $10. If they're charging more, if they're demanding you have to spend at least $20, that's actually illegal, and you could call them out on it. So going back to the original topic, these fees, merchant fees, are actually built in to the price of everything you buy, with a few exceptions. Places like gas stations normally have a different price for credit card and for cash. For example, cash is always lower. And then, some institutions like, for example, universities that allow you to pay, tuition by credit card will often add a small percentage on top of that for using a credit card. Utility companies will. Legally, they are not allowed to add more than 4% for a credit card convenience fee, okay? But with most items, there is no difference between the cash price and the credit card price, so the merchant fees are built into that. In other words, everything is about 2.5 or 3% more expensive than it should be, okay? Now, that is a little bit debatable because obviously if everyone used cash, there would be some higher security costs associated with that, like you would have to have additional security guards and armored vehicles to take all that cash to the bank. So whether 2.5% or 3% is exactly right, it's debatable, but I think it's pretty much sure to say that everything is a little bit more expensive than it should be because of these processing fees. So if you're paying that anyway, you might as well use a rewards credit card that gives you that money back, okay? Now obviously if you're the type of person who's going to get into debt, then I would suggest do not use a credit card, go with a debit card or cash because you can't control your spending. It would be more beneficial for you just to keep your spending in check, because obviously if you get into debt, you're going to start paying interest, which will cancel out any of the rewards that you get, okay, if you're paying enough interest. But if you are someone who can control themselves, pay off their credit card in full every month, then you might as well use a credit card for every purchase. Well, apart from, you know, the obvious example, your halal meat guy down the street, he's only going to accept cash. But other than that, you might as well use credit card for every purchase because you're paying that money anyway in merchant fees. Those merchants aren't paying it themselves, they're passing the cost on to you. So guys, that is the reason I use a credit card for every purchase. A little bit of a long-winded discussion, but we threw in some other interesting facts there, so I hope it made for an interesting conversation. Anyway, please leave your thoughts below. As always, please subscribe for new credit card tips and tricks every week, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.